On Friday, Gavin Newsom's press office posted on X, quote, Stephen Miller is a fascist. Miller was quick to call out Newsom, replying to the post. Why do you think they posted this? Here was reaction. White House Deputy Chief for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor, our friend Stephen Miller. You know, it's clear they don't care. It's clear the incendiary language will continue. It's clear that in spite of threats against you, your children, your wife, that they're not stopping going after you personally and by name. Your reaction to it all?
Well, the Democrat Party has become a party that openly aids and encourages and foments violence. You know, we all lived through the unspeakable tragedy of nearly two nearly successful assassination attempts on President Trump. A bullet came within a centimeter of taking his life. We watched in agony and horror as a crazed left-wing terrorist murdered Charlie Kirk just while he's giving a speech, having a debate on a college campus. We watched the United Healthcare CEO get gunned down in cold blood. We saw just days ago a sniper try to take out ICE officers. And what do all of these killers and assassins have in common? They've been radicalized by Democrat Party rhetoric that describes anyone who doesn't share their warped, twisted worldview as fascists, worthy, by implication, of execution. They are using this language to mark people, to put a target on them. And then on top of all of that, what else do they do? When Antifa, when these left-wing terrorists attack our law enforcement, Democrat judges won't put them in jail. Democrat-led police departments refuse to arrest them. Democrat mayors and governors refuse to pursue them. So when violence is openly occurring against the targets that they have named and identified, they will not arrest the violent agitators. And that's why President Trump signed an executive order. It's called a National Security Presidential Memorandum, or NSPM. And that is when you change the formal national security policy of the country. And so President Trump issued an NSPM last week that for the first time ever establishes a national counterterrorism strategy to dismantle these radical left-wing terror groups, including but not limited to Antifa.
What do you make Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
Should probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So maybe they'll have to go after you. Look, we want everything to be fair. It hasn't been fair. And the radical left has done tremendous damage to the country. But we're fixing it. We have right now the hottest country anywhere in the world. And remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. And now Washington, D.C. is fixed.
You guys ran on targeting violent criminals, worst of the worst. I'm not disputing any of the facts around the cases of these women who were deported and removed with their kids. But given you're looking for more money from Congress, ICE says they need more beds, they need more money. Is it the best use of the administration's resources to be going after moms of young kids, basically?
Do you yourself have an opinion on the subject?
I'm more interested in yours.
Well, what percentage of the, let's just pick an even number of, say, 10 million illegal aliens. Let's say that Biden released, I think it's closer to 20 million. Let's say he released 10 million illegal aliens into the country over the last 4 years. What percentage do you think we should let stay here of those 10 million?
I'm not trying to do a game show.
No, but I'm saying, but
if you think that's the best use of
well, hold on, but
dollars.
is it your view that if a Democrat president releases 10, 15, 20 million illegals into the country, they all then should get to stay forever and for all of life?
Stephen, I don't have a view about what Democratic presidents do. I'm asking what the Republican president
yeah,
for and how
okay, so you don't want to answer the question. How many lives and dreams have been destroyed? The other side in this debate, this isn't a debate between two reasonable points of view. It's a debate between a political party led by Donald Trump that believes in nationhood, that believes in sovereignty, that believes in the idea that there is such a thing as citizenship and it's sacred, and a party that is literally waging war against the very idea of nationhood. And as far as they're concerned, every single American citizen who's hurt or killed as a result is acceptable collateral damage. Well, it's not acceptable to Donald Trump, and we're shutting it down, and we'll never apologize for it. Thank you.
Well, ABC is going to have to answer for what their, again, so-called journalist put out on Twitter in the wee hours of the night, calling Stephen Miller vile. They said that President Trump is a world-class hater. And this is, again, coming from someone who is supposed to be an unbiased and professional journalist. This is unacceptable and unhinged rhetoric coming from someone who works at a major television network. We have reached out to ABC. They have said they will be taking action, so we will see what they do. But I think this speaks to the distrust that the American public have in the legacy media, and it's why in the White House press shop and in President Trump's White House, we have made so many significant and much-needed changes.
So everybody knows that Republicans hate when you call them out for the things that they in fact do on a regular basis. But I mean, let's be serious. Stephen Miller being upset about being called a fascist is like the Pope being mad because people call him a Catholic. I mean, if Stephen Miller isn't a fascist, then nobody's a fascist. Out of this entire fascistic Trump 2.0 regime, Stephen Miller is the most fascist. And let's talk about him real quick, how there's absolutely nothing special or inspiring about this man. This dude is completely bald-headed at 40 years old. He looks like Voldemort. He has no charisma. He's not smart. Everything he's ever said is nothing but racism, and he doesn't even come from a family that expounds that. They've disowned him long ago. He's a loser who's uncomfortable in his own skin, and he always looks like he's in the middle of a wet, greasy fart because he's just a loser. But let's talk a little bit more importantly about his message here, where he says that all these people he named were influenced by radical left Democrats. But most of the people he named were registered Republicans. Every single person who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump was a Republican. Okay, both of those people. The person who allegedly assassinated Charlie Kirk, because it's a little iffy now. It's looking like maybe he's not the guy who did it. But if he is the one who did it, he too comes from a gun-toting right-wing MAGA Republican family. And this fascist messaging just doesn't land with most of the country. First and foremost, as I talk about all the time, America is too big to just blanketly take it over. Like no one person or one administration can just run this whole country. That's not happening. And perhaps more importantly than that, you're not delivering on anything. Like Americans were struggling before Donald Trump got in office, but they weren't struggling so bad that fascism is just appealing to everybody now. Like, you know, people have 2 or 3 jobs, but they still got jobs. It's nowhere near as bad as it was after World War I in Germany. One of the biggest reasons that the German people just got completely swept up by Hitler's messaging is because they were poor with a capital P, and Americans just don't know nothing about that level of poverty and discouragement. So while you're raising prices on everyday goods, you know, saying that the Democrats are bloodthirsty fascists, when in fact you are the people who are bloodthirsty fascists, it's just not going to land. And that's why Donald Trump's approval rating is tanking on a weekly basis. Now we got the government shut down. Every month the jobs numbers are looking terrible, despite the fact that Donald Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics to take that data. Y'all, you're losing and you're going to keep losing, and we still got 3 years left of the Trump regime losing.